Systems online. You know you're not supposed to be up this late, Jason. Your physician said you need more sleep.
Yes, I know, but this next video is a big one, so let's schedule the extra sleep for next week, okay?
Scanning. The iPhone 15 Pro Max and the Galaxy S24 Ultra. Are you planning on putting together a comparison review?
Something like that. Hey, out of curiosity, which one do you think is better?
Impossible question.
Come on, Emma, you're an AI supercomputer. I would think this question isn't exactly difficult to answer.
Better is a subjective terminology. Your definition of that word will differ from someone else's, and there's no objective baseline to make such a determination, which is why it's an impossible question.
Well, it seems like an easy enough question for a lot of the folks who got quite vocal in the comments, but fine, I respect your political response, but do me a favor, start a cross-analysis between these two phones and get me the facts, yeah?
Roger that. Cross-analysis engaged. The iPhone 15 Pro Max and the S24 Ultra illustrate two different perspectives when it comes to design. The iPhone has a subdued aesthetic with its rounded corners, while the S24 Ultra has a more aggressive form factor with its boxy shape and floating camera design. Both the iPhone 15 Pro Max and the S24 Ultra have new titanium frames, a notable upgrade in terms of durability, as titanium is exponentially stronger than aluminum and steel, while also being significantly lighter in weight and noticeably more anti-corrosive. Both phones are leveraging OLED technology in their displays, with the S24 Ultras coming in slightly larger and at a higher resolution. I'm detecting major power sources from both devices. The Galaxy S24 Ultra is equipped with Qualcomm's latest chipset, the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, the most powerful mobile processor you can have in an Android device. The 15 Pro Max is equipped with Apple's latest A17 Pro processor, the company's first Pro-level mobile chip, and quite possibly the most powerful mobile processor in any phone today. Differentiators include the S Pen for the S24 Ultra, while the iPhone 15 Pro Max has a new action button that could be mapped to a variety of different functions for added customization and convenience. The S24 Ultra's camera system boasts a massive 200-megapixel main sensor and the ability to shoot video in an impressive 8K resolution. The iPhone 15 Pro Max has an upgraded 48-megapixel main sensor and a new 5x telephoto zoom, and the ability to shoot video in 4K ProRes RAW for advanced color grading in post. Overall, both the iPhone 15 Pro Max and the Galaxy S24 Ultra represent two of the best smartphones available today, and after my thorough analysis, here is my conclusion on which phone is better.
Hey, it's Jason. I've been using both the Galaxy S24 Ultra and the iPhone 15 Pro Max, two of the most sought-after phones in 2024, and man, it's been really interesting as both of these devices have a lot of similarities in certain areas, but are also fundamentally different in others. And a perfect illustration of this dichotomy is with each phone's approach to their design. Both Apple and Samsung decided to use titanium for their frames to give their flagships an upgrade when it comes to build material, and the execution on both is excellent. Both of the frames are nicely brushed, which gives each respective device a bit of an industrial aesthetic, paired nicely with the frosted glass, which gives both the iPhone and the S24 Ultra a completely matte finish. This makes both flagships look a lot stealthier and refined than their counterparts, despite being very similar in design otherwise. Both phones also now have completely flat displays, something that the iPhone has always had, so more of an update to the S24 Ultra, and again, this makes the phones look cleaner and a bit more sophisticated, and the build quality on both are superb. The iPhone uses Apple's ceramic shield on the front glass, while the S24 Ultra uses Gorilla Glass armor, and both have an IP68 dust and water resistance rating. Now, some differences from a design perspective: the iPhone 15 Pro Max has a pretty standard camera housing to contain its rear triple camera setup, while the S24 Ultra has a free floating camera design. I'm not the biggest fan of the absence of a camera housing, mainly because I think it's an opportunity to make your phone stand out a bit from a looks perspective. It kind of makes the S24 Ultra look a bit too bland in comparison. Now, Samsung more than makes up for that with the general form factor of the S24 Ultra. It has a much more aggressive in-your-face design compared to the rather tame iPhone 15 Pro Max. The signature boxy shape and sharp corners of the Ultra are no doubt quite attention-grabbing and different from basically all other phones out there, and it somehow all comes together to look really nice. Now, it does come at the cost of some comfort though, as the S24 Ultra is not only huge but actually heavier now with the upgrade to titanium, and these corners will start digging into the soft part of your palm if you use the phone for an extended period of time. Now, the iPhone 15 Pro Max is also a big boy, not the best for one-handed use, but it actually has a weight reduction by using titanium, as it's coming from the way heavier stainless steel, and Apple ever so slightly rounded out the frame to make the phone noticeably more comfortable to hold than ever before. And at the end of the day, it's going to come down to preference on which one is better in terms of physical design. I personally think that the S24 Ultra edges out the iPhone here, mainly because it took a lot more risk and made it work, but I get that it may not be everyone's cup of tea when it comes to look and feel. Now, important thing to note, even though the iPhone 15 Pro Max and the S24 Ultra are using titanium, titanium frames. Do not let that dupe you into thinking that these phones are indestructible. That's just not true. They're still susceptible to damage from drops and even micro scratches, especially because these are big phones that aren't the easiest to use. You're gonna want to get some sort of protection to not hate yourself later on by damaging these expensive things.
Excuse me, Jason.
Hey, Emma, come on, I'm doing my thing here.
Apologies for the interruption, but I may have an elegant solution to this issue. What about the cases that channel sponsor Pitaka sent over?
Oh, dude, good call. Hold on, let me grab those real quick.
Pitaka Mag Easy Case detected.
Pitaka is a leading tech company that produces some of the most sophisticated, easy-to-use accessories available today, and these are their new Mag Easy cases for the S24 Ultra and the iPhone 15 Pro Max. So first and foremost, these cases are made from armored fiber, a composite material that's stronger than steel, but also 5 times lighter. It's the same material that's used in bulletproof vests, so you know it's going to keep your phone extra safe. Pitaka has been using armored fiber in its cases for about a decade. They're really the experts with this material, and it definitely shows with these new cases. And don't let the competition fool you. A lot of different case companies use something that looks similar, but is definitely not the same thing. Pitaka has been leading the charge with the use of armored fiber, so you know you're getting the real deal when their name is stamped to it. And man, the sunset, moonrise, and star peak design give off this retro vibe, a real breath of fresh air from the typical lifeless design of virtually all other cases in existence today, but they do still make their classic black variant if you want something more low-key. Emma, what can you tell me about Pitaka's Mag Easy case?
The case is made from Pitaka's exclusive technique called fusion weaving. This allows them to weave these intricate designs, giving the case a unique tactile texture that's smooth to the touch, but also provides a good amount of grip for an ideal user experience. Moreover, the case is noticeably lighter and thinner than the competition. Pitaka is known for making their cases with a minimal footprint, and it's no exception here. And what's impressive is that Pitaka was able to integrate a MagSafe ring in the case without compromising their signature form factor. This allows users to take advantage of MagSafe accessories like a MagSafe charger or wallet with a high degree of confidence when it comes to connection.
All to say, this is a great way to give your phone a fresh look while also keeping it safe, while also giving it some added functionality. If you guys are interested in learning more about the Pitaka Mag Easy case, check out the link in the description below. Get the protection and the style that your phone deserves. Check out Pitaka today. Okay, next, let's talk about performance on both the iPhone 15 Pro Max and the Galaxy S24 Ultra. Both Apple and Samsung brought their A game here, as both phones are equipped with their top-of-the-line processors. The S24 Ultra has Qualcomm's latest Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 chip for Galaxy, the creme de la creme in the non-Apple space, and an absolute beast of a mobile processor. The iPhone 15 Pro Max has Apple's latest A17 Pro chip, the first Pro chip within their in-house lineup, and this processor is next level. It's probably the most powerful chip in any phone right now, period. Now again, both the S24 Ultra and the iPhone 15 Pro Max leverage their respective processors in both similar and different ways. For example, both do a fantastic job with their high refresh rate displays, as navigating around One UI and iOS is silky smooth and virtually devoid of any lag or jitters. Mobile gaming doesn't make either phone sweat in the least, even for graphic intensive options, as controls are hyper responsive and throttle free, and both the S24 Ultra and the iPhone 15 Pro Max are able to offer this level of performance while also giving users class-leading battery life. I'm averaging around 7.5 to 8 hours of screen on time with the S24 Ultra. Samsung has gotten noticeably better at power efficiency, and it definitely shows on this phone. And I've been regularly getting, no joke, a day and a half to 2 full days of battery life on the iPhone 15 Pro Max. It's crazy how good the battery on this phone performs, so it's great knowing that both devices got you covered all day, even if you are a power user. Now, where Apple and Samsung start to go in different directions in terms of leveraging their horsepowers with their unique features, no better illustrated by the S24 Ultra's inclusion of the S Pen. Now, in full honesty, I don't personally use the S Pen that much, but I will say that it does perform really well. There's seriously no latency that I can notice when using it, and if you can get into the habit of pulling it out, it can be an extremely useful addition. Samsung also decided to go ham on the AI features baked into One UI this year, introducing features like Circle to Search and a lot of AI camera features that no doubt illustrates the strength and capability of the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. The iPhone 15 Pro Max, on the other hand, went a more practical route with its unique features, introducing the new action button that could be mapped to perform a certain function within iOS. I've got mine mapped to unlock my car, which has been incredibly convenient, and it's great to have some level of customization on the iPhone. And though iOS currently doesn't have any formal AI features baked into the operating system yet, Apple did introduce some new photo editing features, like being able to take a portrait selfie even if you didn't have portrait mode on. And word on the street is that Apple is working on implementing their AI suite of features with an imminent software update that many are eager for. But the main way in which both the Galaxy S24 Ultra and the iPhone 15 Pro Max flex their processing powers is through their camera performance. These are arguably the two best camera suites in the game right now. The S24 Ultra continues to use its crazy 200 megapixel main sensor, complemented by an ultra-wide, a selfie, a 3x zoom, and now a new 5x telephoto zoom with a 50 megapixel sensor. The iPhone 15 Pro Max has a 48 megapixel main sensor, also with an ultra-wide and a selfie camera, and a 5x telephoto zoom. And when it comes to still image photography, both do really well as to be expected. Samsung continues to imbue its images with its signature image processing that adds a dash of saturation and digital sharpness for a more flattering, albeit artificial look, while the iPhone 15 continues down its path of giving users more natural looking images that don't come off as processed. Again, it's going to come down to preference as both do really well. I personally prefer the pictures coming out of the iPhone because I like the more natural look, but I know a lot of people that prefer the more dolled up images coming out of the S24 Ultra. Now, video is where both phones really stretch their legs when it comes to processing power, mainly because both the S24 Ultra and the iPhone 15 Pro Max can do some pretty incredible things with their cameras. The S24 Ultra can shoot in a ridiculous 8K resolution that is kept at 30 frames per second, but now doesn't have that annoying crop that it had in previous models. And generally speaking, Samsung has made improvements with their video quality, especially with color rendering and toning it down with the digital sharpening, and the performance here is really quite good. Now, Apple has been the king in the video space for a while now, and it's definitely not backing off anytime soon. Not only can the iPhone 15 Pro Max give users the best 4K footage on any phone right now straight out of camera, it can now shoot in 4K ProRes RAW, which is pretty insane. Shooting in RAW is a super advanced camera feature that's usually only seen in high-end cinema cameras. It records footage in a way that retains the most data so you can have the most flexibility in post to edit it to really take the quality here to the next level. Now, as impressive as this is, I mean, you need an insane amount of processing power to be able to do this. It's not the most practical because it is limited to 30 frames per second, and you almost have to have an external high-speed SSD plugged in because the data files are so huge. Plus, you have to have some knowledge in video editing and color grading in order to make the footage look good, which to me makes this something that 98% of users will never use. This is especially true because the regular 4K video is still so good. Trust me, as a video nerd, I'm thrilled that this phone can shoot in ProRes RAW, but it does seem like an odd feature to add at the end of the day. And when it comes to my final thoughts, I think it's good that both of these flagship phones share a lot of commonality in certain areas that are good for consumers, while also offering up their own unique experiences that connect with certain users, but it makes answering the question of which phone is better really, really hard. Now, I personally think that the S24 Ultra is the more fun device overall. It's way more feature packed at this point and is a great choice for power users. But the iPhone 15 Pro Max is definitely the go-to if shooting video is a priority. The cameras perform really well, and I'm curious to see how iOS goes about their AI features that are coming soon. At this point, I'm going to give the slight edge to the S24 Ultra as the better phone. It kind of should be, to be honest, because it was launched earlier this year. We're going to have to do a round 2 when Apple debuts the iPhone 16 Pro Max to really see who did it better in 2024. But hey, that's just me, and I want to know what you guys think. Which phone do you guys think is better? The Galaxy S24 Ultra or the iPhone 15 Pro Max? Curious to get your thoughts. Let me know what you guys are thinking in the comments down below. And if you guys are looking for dedicated reviews for both, check out these videos here. They're going to help you be as informed as possible.